chat. Today, I have a very special video. Today, instead of doing a reaction, I'm gonna do a story time because, well, I don't want this channel to be just full of reactions. I actually want to do like other videos. Like if y'all been subscribing to me for a while, y'all know I do other videos. Like did a video where I did yoga. We did a prank before. We did I had a podcast on here. So I just want to keep the channel like diverse. I don't want to just do one thing. A lot of videos I'm gonna be doing stuff with like other people, like creators and stuff. I don't want to give y'all too much about what I'm gonna be doing, but yeah, we're gonna be doing that soon. So it's lemonade. It's not alcohol. Haram. We have a very special video today. I'll be giving y'all story time about how I became Redpill. How did they say, Nas? Did you always just know the truth? Was there something that happened? No, let me stop. No one said that. You don't know what Red Pill is. Basically, it's just the truth. The truth about the world, the truth about how something operates. And the analogy came from the movie The Matrix, which is one of... Can y'all hear the train? Yeah, the Red Pill it's an analogy from the movie The Matrix, which is one of my favorite movies. Basically, Neo, who's the chosen one, was Morpheus came to him and basically said, you can take the red pill where you find out the truth, or you can take the blue pill and you can return into the bot programming of the Matrix. So that's where that analogy came from, and that's why everybody says it. Yeah, so I'm just gonna make a video of like what led to me getting to this point to where I'm at. Grab some popcorn, get a drink. Matter of fact, before we get straight into it, before you get your popcorn and your drink, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications. We hit 40 subscribers too, like last week. Oh, no, not last week. Maybe like a couple days ago. So that's a W. Before I was doing all these reactions, I started off at like 20 something, and now we at 40. So that's a W. 20 subscribers gained in like literally like a month span. That's a W. That's 20 people that press the subscribe button. So that's a W, bro. I don't like it's a progress. We on the road to 500 followers, so W. What we need like 460 more followers. W. But now let's get straight into the video. You may be asking, how do you know the truth about this? How do you know the truth about that? Who did you learn this from? To be honest, I kind of always been red-pilled a little bit, if that makes sense. First thing I remember thinking like, okay, this seems weird, is like, do y'all remember back then where everybody used to say like, oh, Tupac's still alive, like he's somewhere in Cuba? That was probably the first conspiracy theory that I actually looked into and went down the rabbit hole and like was just studying it and just trying to figure out all the information I could. I feel like that was one of the first things where I realized like, okay, stuff is really deeper than what mainstream media or what the news might tell you or whatever. And that's why I first heard the word Illuminati. That's where I started figuring out people like P. Diddy, Beyonce, Jay-Z, LeBron James, Kevin Hart, people like that who are involved in or used as puppets to control the masses and to control their fan bases and to feed us garbage and stuff like that. So I feel like that's where it kind of started. But even back then, I got to give some credit to my dad. And the first time I ever knew what chemtrails was because of my dad, like where he would say, like he would look up and y'all know how y'all see the chemtrails in the sky where the planes and the smoke be behind them. He would always say like they spraying stuff in the air to make us a certain type of way or something. So that's another early memory I can remember of like me knowing that something wasn't right. I was a bot at one point, but I wasn't like deep in there. Some people are like super bots, deep in there, like they're too far gone. Let's fast forward a little bit. Let's say 2020. 2020 started. That's when TikTok came. That's when the vaccine came. That's when George Floyd died and there was all the riots. Now, when George Floyd first died, I believe that, you know, the cop was bad and Black Lives Matter. And bro, it's crazy because I was working at Popeyes and I even bought I even bought a Black Lives Matter shirt around that time, and I believe like they're killing us because we're black. I don't believe that now. Like if you look at the facts of that case, and if you look at the facts at like the George Floyd, the autopsy, and all of that, you would be surprised what you figure out. But that's not why we're here. We're not getting into that. But yeah. So I still was about then. Like when George Floyd happened, and I was walking around wearing a mask because of COVID, and yeah, I was wearing a mask. I said the vaccine earlier. I meant to say COVID, but then at like the end of 2020, like around November, December of 2020, I started watching Solomonati. If you don't know who Solomonati is, he's a YouTuber. Pretty much, like he's known for like gaming and like just being a YouTuber, doing YouTube stuff. I started watching him, but I wasn't watching because I never really watched YouTubers who were like doing stuff like that. I started watching him. How did I find him? I don't know how I found him. I really do not know how I found him, bro. That's crazy. But I started watching Solomonati, and he made a second channel called Spiritual Soul, where he giving spiritual advice on how to better yourself, and he was waking people up to the world. But I actually want to go back a little bit because this is the end of 2020 now. I want to go back a little bit to XXXTentacion. He played a major part of me like kind of waking up too in the beginning, like when he dropped Question Mark album, when he dropped that album, and when he would go on live, and I remember he did a live with academics. That was like super eye-opening to me. Like it played a big role. Like it just he planted a seed in my head, I would say. Then in the 2020, Solomonati came around. Solomonati played a huge role. Well, he didn't come around, but that's when I found him. Spiritual Soul. He came. I started watching him like in the 2020, right? So when I was watching him, I started realizing like, bro, none of this. Okay, let me tell you this was my mindset when I was watching Spiritual Soul. Don't focus on anything else. Worry about myself. None of this matter. Like politics, like nothing matters. Just try to be positive and stuff like that. That's what I was thinking back then when I first found Spiritual Soul. Now, mind you, at the time I had a girlfriend. I hope she don't. Should I say this? Fuck it. It won't nothing crazy. At the time I had a girlfriend, and Spiritual Soul was kind of against. Oh, mind you, and I wasn't religious back then. I'm not gonna say Spiritual Soul was against religion, but I believe he said something as like they want you to like go outside of yourself, but if you look within yourself, you'll find all the answers, basically.
Just tell you to read books, some books that was written by men. These words ain't coming from fucking God. Connect with your higher self, he'll tell you that shit. She'll tell you that shit. Stop believing in anything outside your fucking self. You are a God.
And that kind of goes against Christianity a little bit, or any other religion, because except for like Buddhism, but that goes against the Abrahamic religions, because they say God is the all-powerful, everything. So you got to pray to God or whatever. And to stay in prayer to God, I would just meditate and just find myself, which I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but you still do have to conversate with God. I was meditating and I was learning more stuff. I learned a lot about food. That's when I had a red pill moment about food too. Like most of the foods we eat are not healthy for you. That's when I learned a lot about food. Like that's what something that helped too with like my diet and me not eating certain things. And he pushed getting in the gym, but I was not getting in the gym at this point. That wasn't that time yet. So I had a girlfriend at the time, and she was a Christian. Now, I said some wild things to her that I regret now about her religion and stuff like that. But now I realize that that probably was the devil speaking through me. And yeah, because back then I didn't have God. Like I didn't have um I didn't have God with me at that point. I used to think of myself like I was a God. I was God. That's how I used to think. Astaghfirullah. But that's how I used to think back then, that I was God. And now I see how that mindset is detrimental to people. And yeah, so we wound up breaking up. And when we broke up, see, okay, let me explain perfectly for y'all what happened. I'm not gonna go through the details of how we broke up or whatever. But when we broke up, when we were together and I found Soluminati, I was at my highest, because it's like, okay, I'm finding all this information, like I found the truth, like I just want to tell everyone. I'm like, oh my, like, did you know this is bad to eat? Did you know this? Did you know that? Did you know if you meditate this way, then, like, I just wanted to tell everybody. I just wanted to spread the message, right? But in January, because, okay, mind you, this is December when I found out the truth. January comes, we break up. Now I really liked her. Like mind you, I was a simp. I wasn't red pilled about girls then. I wasn't red pilled about girls. I didn't know. I was still a simp though. So spiritual soul only helped me as far as like my body and learning my body type shit. But I was still red pilled about girls, politics. Like I didn't know. When we broke up, I took it hard, bro. I took it, bro. Worst breakup I ever been through. I took it hard. So I don't want to say I fell into a depression, but I was sad. I was like super down, and I wouldn't say I fell into a depression. I wouldn't say that, but I was like, it was bothering me bad. So so I kept going with the spiritual stuff, and I was super spiritual at this point. I had crystals. I used to, I used to read tarot cards. Like, bro, I was deep in there. I was super spiritual. So, but I didn't have God though. That's the thing. When you can't be lacking. You can have the spirituality, but you have to have God with it. So because God is, He's the creator, bro. He created all of this. You get what I'm saying? So what happened after that? So then I was still just working on myself, trying to like bounce back from the breakup or whatever, and really just get back to the high I was at. Because once we broke up, I was at a high. No, before we broke up, I was at a high. And once we broke up, it felt like my energy just down from there. So we broke up. I was trying to build back up, build back up. Now, chat. At this time, I was talking to another girl. Like, let's say like 3 months later. Let's say, all right, February I was talking to another girl, but I was trying to focus on myself, just build everything back up. So once May comes of 2021, May comes of 2021, and I get in another relationship. But I'm good at this point. I'm pretty much over the last girl, back up spiritual. So, mind you, the whole 2021, I'm just super spiritual. Like, I have crystals, I believe in tarot cards, I believe that I am God, basically. I believe this. I'm telling y'all what I believe. This is everything that I believe. I am God. I control my own universe. I am, like, that's what I believe. Very narcissistic. It was down. Okay, it's downsides and it's good sides to the spiritual stuff, because it's like, if I want to take care of my body, eat healthy, okay, cool. If I want to meditate, okay, cool. If I want to do this, okay, cool. But once you start saying like, I am God, religion is wrong, this, that, it's like, bro, okay. This is why you need God this is why you need a belief in God, because it's like, you have that authoritative figure. Well, I don't want to say figure, authoritative. You have the ultimate creator there to remind you that you need to abide by rules. That's another thing. I didn't have any rules with the spiritual stuff. I was still smoking here and there. I would still take a drink here and there. I would still speak badly. Like that's the problem with just being spiritual. You know how many girls smoke weed? I'm spiritual. Cussing up a storm, I'm spiritual. They go outside wearing basically nothing. I'm spiritual. You get that? Like all 2020, I'm basically spiritual. Bro, then the beginning of 2022, legendary, bro. This era is legendary. Oh my god. One day I'm on TikTok. This is when I still have my TikTok. One day I'm on TikTok and I see a dude. I see two dudes sitting at a table. And I'm like, what's this? It's Fresh and Fit. Then I'm like, oh, whatever. I hear them speaking some facts. I'm like, okay, whatever. I keep scrolling. Then I see Andrew Tate. And it was a video of matter of fact, I kept seeing multiple Andrew Tate videos, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm like, bro, who is this? Who is this bald dude just rapping, yapping? So I see Andrew Tate, and the first video I ever saw was when some dude emailed him and was basically saying he wanted to be down with them.
The other day, I got a message on Instagram, and it was from a young 17-year-old, and he said, I'll do anything. I want to be mafia like you. Can we work together? And I sat there and I said to Tristan, why does everyone think we're mafia? We're not mafia. I replied to him and said, I gave him a job. I gave him a task. I said I wanted 100 emails for 100 days to tell me why he would be a good member of my mafia. That was the task I gave him. I got 6 emails, and that was it. He said he'd do anything. He said he'd do anything to be in the mafia. I didn't even ask him to shoot nobody. All he had to do was send me fucking emails, and his stupid ass didn't do it. Because everybody wants the success, everybody likes the idea of being something, but no one wants to do the work.
I saw that video. I'm like, all right, kept scrolling. Then I saw Kevin Samuels, bro. Kevin Samuels. I saw Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels, I was watching him. I'm like, oh, he's speaking. Then I think he went on Fresh and Fit. And then I saw that Fresh and Fit. I'm like, oh, these the dudes I saw on TikTok. Oh, and I forgot to mention something. Like, I want to go back a little bit. During high school, I was red-pilled as far as, like, I wouldn't even say red-pilled. I just knew a bunch of conspiracy theories. And I believed in, like, flat earth. I believed that, like, conspiracy theories about 9/11. So I did have that, too, in high school. Now, fast forward. 2020, we're in the beginning of 2022. I already saw Fresh and Fit. I'm watching Kevin Samuels, and I'm like, bro, like, they're speaking facts about women that I'd never even, it's like I realized it, but in this society, you get psyoped to thinking, like, you're like, your opinion isn't valid as a guy, or, like, you need to just suck it up and, bro, what is this? Ignore that. Or you need to just suck it up and ignore your biology and just basically submit to society and not have an opinion. So I wasn't watching Andrew Tate at this point. It was just, all I was watching was like Kevin Samuels, and I'm like, but I was still I won't binge watch him no, I wasn't doing that. I ain't even gonna lie. So fast forward. Matter of fact, hold on. Around this time, I found Sneeko too. Around the 2022, somewhere between somewhere like February, like beginning of 2022, I just started finding everybody, bro. It's Kevin Samuels, Sneeko, Fresh and Fit. So I'm watching them, like, and if y'all haven't realized already, every time I found something that resonates with me, I like put my all into it. I'm like, this is the truth. This is the truth. Like, I have to study it and know it. So I'm studying Redpill. Redpill as far as women. And I'm like, what the like, I'm just so amazed, and I'm debating people every night. This is called Red Pill Rage, by the way. I'm debating people every night. I'm getting on Instagram. Bro, do y'all know how many followers I've lost in 2022? I've lost so many followers in 2022. People that I was cool with. People that just, and not even because of my opinions on women, but my opinion on fat people, my opinion on women, my opinion on depression, my opinion on like just a lot of stuff, bro. Because back then I was doing like this this Instagram live like every week where I would go live and that was kind of later on in 2022, I think. Yeah, that was later on in 2022. That was like late 2022, I think, or like maybe mid. Anyways, that it was in 2022. So yeah, I lost followers in 2022. People that I were cool with too, and I received a lot of hate also. So, but okay, let's get back to the story. So yeah. So mind you, I still got a girlfriend at this point. But me watching Fresh and Fit, I'm like, I start realizing stuff that's wrong, and I'm like, bro, I'm not wrong. I'm not gonna put her business out there, but I'm not wrong for feeling this certain type of way. See, Fresh and Fit, what they did was validate L posture. I got L posture. But what Fresh and Fit did and what Kevin Samuels did was validate how I was already feeling inside. But when I would talk to certain people and try to get advice, they would say, "Oh no, you're being childish. You're da da da. You're da da da." I'm not gonna like say it because I don't want to put her business out there. But yeah, and then I started realizing I'm not going for certain stuff because you gotta realize I was transforming from a simp to red pill while I was in a relationship. So that change can be detrimental to the relationship, which it was. And and we eventually broke up or whatever. And that's when and then y'all remember how hurt I was over the first breakup? I wasn't that hurt again during this breakup. And then that summer that came, we're in summer 2022 now. Sneeko going a legendary stream run. He's streaming every single day. I'm watching his stream faithfully every single day. 2022. I'm watching Sneeko stream every single day, faithfully, bro. And and I first found Sneeko on TikTok too, because he was doing he was reacting to public interviews and I remember one video that stuck out to me was where he would guess what the girl would say because that's how predictable females are.
Who is better at self-improvement, men or women?
Men, but they're all going to say women.
Women. Self-improvement, definitely women.
Okay, rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10.
I'm a 10, I'm a 10, I'm a 10. And know this because they all think the same thing. Listen.
10s across the board. Oh, period.
And I was like, bro, I thought he was Mexican at first too, which is funny. But I still watch Sneeko to this day too, by the way. And that was legendary. Summer 2022 was legendary, bro. That's when my red pill rage was. And again, if you don't know what red pill rage is, it's just basically like just trying to spread the truth as much as you can, debate as many people as possible, and just spread the truth or whatever. So yeah, so 2022, most of 2022 was red pill rage. I was like the red pill rage era. So okay, if y'all haven't realized, 2021, spiritual Nas. I'm meditating, crystals, all this stuff. 2022, red pill rage. I'm raging everybody. I don't even know what I believe in anymore. I'm just raging. But you gotta remember, at this time, I'm not gonna say y'all gotta remember, but at this time, I kind of start to see religion in a different light because of Andrew Tate, kinda. And not that he was religious, but I remember him saying like something that stuck with me early on. He was like, what he said? He said, if someone believes in God, he said if someone finds God and that makes them a better person, therefore God exists. And that saying is so simple, but it makes so much sense to me, because that right there proves the existence of God. If you find something, and if you find if you find religion and you become a better person, God exists. But see, the spiritual stuff, it made me better in certain aspects, but it didn't turn me into a better person, I don't think. It just opened my eyes to certain things. But anyways, let's get back on track. So 2021 spiritual, 2022 red pill rage. Now at the end of 2022, no, probably like mid 2022, not mid, but like maybe like around September, I started to do extensive research on Malcolm X and the Black Muslim movement in America. Now I always been before the end of 2022, I kind of always was, not always, but the first Muslim I ever heard of was Muhammad Ali when I was younger. And I used to always, like, I looked up to Muhammad Ali. He was my first favorite boxer. Like, the first boxer I ever knew was Muhammad Ali. And I always respected him, how he went to jail, he stood on what he believed. And I first found out about it because I'm like, okay, why did he change his name from Cassius Clay to Muhammad Ali? And then that's when I figured out, okay, he became Muslim and etc. So when end of 2022 came, I started studying, because religion, and I'm like, bro, Christianity, I can't do it. It doesn't make any sense to me. But when I started studying Islam, I started looking into Malcolm X, because that was another person who I always heard about, but I never really did extensive research on him. So I started doing extensive research on Malcolm X. And I'm like, okay, I agree with what he's saying. Like, I agree with Malcolm X completely. Like, he's one of my inspirations to this day, and how charismatic he was, and how he really stood on what he believed in. He really stood on what he believed in. So then I saw how he left the Nation of Islam, and he went over to Mecca, and he accepted the real Islam. And I was like, what made him want to accept that Islam? And matter of fact, it's crazy, y'all, because I got the Malcolm X book right here. I'm almost done with it. I'm at the end. I'm literally at the end. I'm about to be finished with it. But what made him want to accept the real Islam, basically, like the Orthodox Islam? And so I started studying that. While I'm studying that, Andrew Tate, who I looked up to, I don't want to say looked up to, but he was a great inspiration to me. While I was studying that, Andrew Tate becomes a Muslim. So I'm like, okay, now I really want to study it. So I'm studying Islam, and it makes so much sense to me. I ordered the Quran. It made the most sense, like, out of everything, from the spiritual stuff to Christianity to Buddhism, because I studied everything. To everything, Islam made the most sense to me. I was like, whoa, where has this, like, bro, I believe in this way too. I believe in this, like, almost 100%. It was just some things I still needed to study because I didn't understand. But so, end of 2022, I'm studying Islam, and all into 2023, studying Islam, and then plus I'm watching. But I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't really studying Islam like heavy then. I was really 2023, when 2023 started, I call that like the business year. I call that the year that I really was studying, like, how to make money, the gym, etc. I was going to the gym a lot. I was trying to start a business. I started a little marketing business where I made a little bit of money off of it. Not a lot, but a little bit. And I was really trying to just, that's when Andrew Tate clicked in my head, like, okay, you need to be rich. You need to be rich so that they can't control you and you can say whatever you want to say. And you need to break out of the matrix and be rich. That's 2023. Even though I was still studying Islam on the side, and I agree with it. So come all 2023, I'm just in the gym, trying to study, be rich, whatever. Into 2023, Islam is still there. It's just, and then, I mean, that's where we still at now. 2024, Islam. And I'm still studying Islam now. And I'm actually doing Ramadan right now. Pray 5 times a day, every day. I'm reading the Quran. Just studying Islam. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to get too much into that, but I'm just studying Islam now. And that's basically my red pill journey of how I got here to this point of red pill, my beliefs, everything. And it's just funny because I really feel like God did this on purpose. Like, it was very strategic how it all happened. 2021. Matter of fact, 2020, bought BLM shirts. I believe in COVID. I'm wearing a big mask every day. 2021, I realized a lot of stuff is a lie. I realized a lot of stuff is a lie. I start to eat better. I realized that I become spiritual. I have crystals, tarot reading. Then 2022, I realized the truth about women, and I'm just red pill raging about how it's not good to be fat. Women are women. Oh, 2022, that was another big one, LGBTQ. I was raging about that too, of how women are women, men are men, and I was just raging. 2022. In the beginning of 2023, into 2022, I find Islam. I start studying that, and I basically found the truth. And it's funny how it went through sagas like that. How I went through sagas, like stages of finding the truth after truth after truth after truth. And even when I look at back, like when I was younger, of how, like I said, I used to debate the teacher about the flat Earth, and back then I used to say conspiracy theories in class about 9/11 and how I used to look up in the sky and see the chemtrails or whatever. Like, even back then, it's funny how I always been kind of like woke in a sense. I don't want to use the word woke. How I always kind of knew in a sense that like the world how we see it isn't really how we see it. Like what we're seeing basically is just a perception of what's really going on. That's basically how I found the truth. It's basically my red pill journey. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and peace.